get a big-time performance and get a big-time victory in Denver on Sunday. Now the Eagles move to 4-6 after defeating the Denver Broncos 30-16 out there in Denver. I mean, this is an impressive win for the Eagles. You look at the Denver Broncos coming off a big-time win against the Dallas Cowboys last week, and the Eagles, a tough loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. They go on the road now. And again, the formula for the Eagles at this point, the winning formula is running the football. The last few weeks, the Philadelphia Eagles, last 3 games, this team has ran the ball for 629 yards. So they're running the ball effectively, and it's helping Jalen Hurts, it's helping the defense, and it's helping this team move the ball effectively. I mean, you look at everybody that contributed for this football team, in this victory, which was, again, a big victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. You look at everybody that's contributed in terms of the running game. Jordan Howard producing, 83 yards on the ground, 12 carries, 83 yards for Jordan Howard. You look at Boston Scott, 11 carries, 81 yards. Jalen Hurts, 14 carries, 53 yards. So everybody is touching the football. Guys are getting touches in the run game, and guys are making things happen. And so that seems to be the recipe for success for the Eagles. Run the football. Don't drop Jalen Hurts back 30, 40 times a game. Run the football. Run the football, and you get a situation where Jalen Hurts throws the ball only 23 times in this particular contest. That is the recipe for success for this football team, and they need to continue this recipe for success going forward. I mean, Nick Sirianni, give him credit. He seems to have adjusted, and he's adjusting on the fly, and it's helping this football team have success. The last 3 games, beat the Lions, battled the Chargers, almost beat the Chargers, and have beaten the Denver Broncos. The recipe for success is simple. Run the ball. Commit to running the football. If you commit to running the football, it's going to help you win football games. Last 3 games, 40 carries, 214 yards, 39 carries, 179 yards, and then 40 carries, 236 yards. So the recipe is clear. If you can run the football, at least give your running game an opportunity, you can win some football games. And that's what this Eagles team is doing. They're winning football games by running the football and committing to the run game. 40 carries today. 40 carries for this team today. And so, and granted, part of that is you getting that lead early and you keeping that lead throughout. So that's a big part of why you're running the football a lot, and it's a big part of why you can run the football is you getting out early on teams. And you look at this Eagles team, they got out early on Denver in this particular contest. First drive, they were able to move the ball down the field. That ended with a field goal by Jake Elliott, short field goal, and the Eagles had led 3-0. And then they came back, a big play. Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith, and this kid's proven like he looks like he has the goods. Devontae Smith went up for it, 36-yard catch from Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles were up 10-0 early in this contest, up 10-0 early, and then ultimately, Denver came back. Give the Broncos credit, came back with a touchdown, then they came back with another field goal, and then at that time, they drove the ball down the field, scored a touchdown, then they came back and kicked the field goal. At the time, I was thinking, okay, maybe this Eagles defense was going to falter a little bit. Maybe this Eagles defense was going to struggle a little bit, but it didn't happen. I mean, Denver got their plays, but ultimately this Eagles defense stood up when they needed to stand up and made enough plays where they can get the victory on Sunday. So here's some big moments. We go third quarter now. Broncos get the ball. They drive the ball 71 yards. And then they get a block. The Eagles get a blocked field goal. Big block field goal. I mean, because the Broncos get that field goal, it's 20-13. No, but the Eagles blocked it, a big play there, and they were ultimately able to stop the Broncos from getting points in that particular situation. Credit the special teams there for making a play. And then the Broncos come on back. Now they get another field goal after the Eagles punted the football. Broncos get a field goal. It is now 20-13. Eagles faltering a little bit on offense, not making plays, not getting the ball down the field, not getting first downs. And ultimately, the next possession, Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts threw a pick. Man was in his face a little bit. The ball may have gotten deflected, but the ball was intercepted. And ultimately, the Denver Broncos got the ball back and were in business, right? They were in business. Simmons with the pick. The Denver Broncos were in business at that point in time. And then, and the biggest play of the game, a 14-point swing, and that is our turning point of the game. Big play, Slay. Darius Slay made a big-time play for the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, 20-13 was the lead at the time. The Denver Broncos driving 4th and 1. So if you're Denver Broncos, if you get it 4th and 1, you know, if you get it in that particular situation, if you get the first down on that 4th and 1, then, you know, you're still driving. You're still in position where you could possibly get a first down in there in that situation and ultimately get a touchdown. But they fumbled the football. Big play, Slay picked up the football, navigated down the field, made a few moves here, made a few moves there, and ultimately he went 83 big yards. 83 big yards, and ultimately the Eagles at that point up 27-13 to close out the third quarter. They go into the fourth quarter 27-13 and in complete control of the game. That was the big play. Darius, big play, Slay. Now we haven't seen a lot of big plays out of big play Slay since his time in Philly, but that was a big one. That was a big play by Darius Slay. And that was what turned the game around for the Eagles, put the game away in a lot of ways. Didn't turn around. They were up 20-13. But if Denver gets that first down and ultimately scores on that drive, we're talking now a 20-20 game going into the fourth quarter. You got now it was a 14-point turnaround, 14-point swing. As Darius Slay not only picks up the fumble, but he was able to return the ball ultimately 83 yards. You look at it, the Eagles didn't do a lot offensively in that second half. So that was a big play. Not only did he scoop it up, but he was able to scoop it up and return it 83 yards. And then you look at Teddy Bridgewater, who appeared to have made a business decision in that particular spot. Now, had an opportunity to make the tackle on Slay, but for whatever reason, he didn't make the tackle. It just stopped. He just stopped. And ultimately, Slay went on to go 83 big yards for the touchdown. And the Eagles are able to win this game in Denver 30-13. Big plays by Darius Slay, and that was the turning point in this game. Again, if the Denver Broncos score, if they get a field goal in that spot, it's 20-16, and still the way that Eagles offense was going in the second half, there was a good chance that, hey, the Denver Broncos were getting another opportunity to score. But it didn't happen. That play turned the game around. Was the turning point, was the thing that put the game away for the Philadelphia Eagles. And now the Eagles were able to get the victory. In the fourth quarter, they were able to run the ball effectively. Jordan Howard, Jalen Hurts had a couple runs there, able to run the ball effectively. Boston Scott as well in that fourth. And ultimately, they were able to milk the clock, salt the clock. And ultimately, they were able to win this game in Denver. Huge win for the Eagles. And the Eagles now at 4-6. Hey, I mean, the last 3 weeks, again, you the key to success, the fans have been clamoring, screaming, yelling, some Bronx cheers along the way for this team to run the football. And Nick Sirianni has finally said it to himself and finally figured out that in order for this team to have success, they have to run the football. That's the bottom line. For them to have success, they have to run the football, and that's what they did, and that's what they've been doing these past 3 weeks, running the football effectively, getting Jordan Howard involved, who they officially signed to the 53-man roster, getting Boston Scott involved, using Jalen Hurts' legs and that is the key. That is the recipe for success. And if you're Miles Sanders at this point, you're like, man, oh man. Man, I mean, Miles Sanders, they didn't commit early to the running game when Miles Sanders was in there. And if you're Miles Sanders, you're injured at this point. You got to be kicking yourself like, well, where was this in week 2, 3, and 4? Where was this running game? Where was that? That's what you got to be if you're Miles Sanders at this point. And look, Miles Sanders is a home run hitting type of running back. Miles Sanders can rip off 50, 60, 70-yard run. Miles Sanders has that ability. So that's why earlier in the season, everybody was calling for Sirianni to run the ball, get the ball in the hands of Miles Sanders, put it in the hands of Miles Sanders because he has that ability to make big plays and do big-time things for the Philadelphia Eagles. Sanders has that ability. And so the Eagles weren't running the ball and weren't making a commitment to running the football until now. They're made a commitment to running the football, and they're winning games. Look, they're not going to win a lot of games. More than likely, they're not going to win a lot of games because this is not a very good football team. But in order for you to be kept in games and have an opportunity to win, in order for you to get the best out of Jalen Hurts, in order for you to get the best out of this offense, you have to run the football effectively, and you have to put the ball in the hands of your playmakers and give the offensive line an opportunity to just get off the ball, create some running room for your guys and for your running backs and Hurts to make plays. Playmakers are what the Eagles have in that running game. And again, Philadelphia has been very effective these last 3 weeks, 629 yards on the ground these last 3 weeks. And coincidentally, 2-1 in the last 3 weeks, and a game they could have easily won last week against the Los Angeles Chargers. But unfortunately, the defense couldn't give the ball back to Jalen Hurts and the offense. So again, the Philadelphia Eagles, a big victory, 30-13 out there in Denver. And again, a big win when you consider that the Denver Broncos just went into Dallas and destroyed the Cowboys. And the Cowboys today destroyed the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not saying the Falcons are a good football team because they're not. But the reality is Denver, they've proven that they can beat a good football team in their own building. And Denver did that when they went to Dallas and defeated the Dallas Cowboys, who many believe could be a Super Bowl caliber team. Many believe is a Super Bowl caliber team, and many believe that could win a Super Bowl this season. So credit to Denver and credit to the Eagles, credit to Denver last week and credit to the Eagles this week for going into Denver and getting the job done. Credit to the Eagles. This is a good win. This is a very good win. Give this team credit for what they did. Hey, Nick Sirianni, Jonathan Gannon have had their bad moments this season. But guess what? Defensively, they were getting after Bridgewater. They only had 1 sack today, but they were getting after, having pressuring Bridgewater, hitting him, and not making it very comfortable for him. So give Gannon and that defense some credit, right? Give him credit. And again, give him credit for big play Slay and that defense making the play of the game, the turning point of the game, the part of the game where if the Broncos get that first down there late in the third, if they get that first down in that particular spot, guess what? That more than likely they're going to score some type of points, whether that's a field goal or a touchdown. And again, the Eagles didn't do much offensively in the second half in terms of scoring the football, in terms of scoring. So Darius Slay not only getting that fumble, but Darius Slay returning that fumble was so huge, so big for the Philadelphia Eagles, and one of the reasons they won this game. So what's next for the Eagles? What is next for the Eagles? So Philadelphia now, they host the New Orleans Saints next week at Lincoln Financial Field. And you look at that situation, New Orleans Saints coming off a loss to the Titans today. Trevor Siemian is their quarterback. So there's an opportunity. New Orleans has a solid defense, but there's an opportunity for Philadelphia now to build on this win against the Saints. You look at the Eagles. the games that they struggled, I mean, on the defensive end, they've lost to some good quarterbacks, whether it's Patrick Mahomes, whether it's Dak Prescott, whether it's Tom Brady. Derek Carr is solid, having a solid season. Justin Herbert had some big numbers last week as well. But when this team defensively have struggled, they've struggled against very good quarterbacks, right? You're talking about very good to great quarterbacks that they have struggled against defensively. Well, Teddy Bridgewater is an average quarterback, and Trevor Siemian is pretty average. And if you look at the rest of the way, in terms of quarterback play, the rest of the way in terms of quarterback play, it's average. After Siemian and the New Orleans Saints, it's Daniel Jones and the Giants. After that, it is we'll see what happens with the Jets in terms of their quarterback situation. But it could be Mike White, who threw 4 picks today, right? Or maybe it could even be Joe Flacco. We'll see. But average quarterback play. Washington, Taylor Heineke, average quarterback play. The Giants again, Daniel Jones. Washington again, average quarterback play. And then they close it out against Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. That's not an average quarterback. But you get where I'm going here. This defense could have a level of success because there's going to be the epitome of average in terms of the quarterbacks that they're going to play the rest of the way. Let's go to the standings now. Let's go to the standings. Let's look at it from the playoff standings point of view. Look, 7 teams make the playoffs this year. At this point, after 10 games, the Eagles are a game out in terms of the playoffs, right? They're a game out. And if you look at it, the team that's ahead of them, the team that's got the 7th spot is the Carolina Panthers. And the Carolina Panthers are a team that the Philadelphia Eagles beat this season. Carolina with a huge win against the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Cam had a couple touchdowns today. But going back to that, look, this game against the Saints, dare I say, has some playoff implications. It has playoff implications. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles and you beat the New Orleans Saints on Sunday, you're 5-6. The Saints are 5-5. You're a half game behind the Saints then. And at that point, you're still, you would have a tiebreaker over another team if, they ended up tied or something of that nature. So, again, the playoffs are not out of the question when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. The tough part of their schedule is done, right? The tough part is done. Now is the easier part of your schedule. The schedule lightens up now, and you're in position. You have a chance now, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, that you could possibly, dare I say, make the playoffs. The Eagles could make the playoffs. The Eagles could make the playoffs. Yes, I said it. And the reality is, with 7 teams making the playoffs, 3 wild card spots, there's opportunities, man. I mean, there's going to be opportunities. And there is an opportunity for the Philadelphia Eagles to make the playoffs, right? I mean, more than likely, the team that makes the playoffs with the 7th spot might be a team that wins maybe 8 or 9 games, right? So the Eagles, look, the schedule says that they have an opportunity to make some noise and an opportunity to possibly make the playoffs. But that game against the Saints has playoff implications. Yeah, I said it. It has playoffs implications. The Philadelphia Eagles possibly could make the playoffs. The schedule is not daunting. I'm not saying this is a good football team, but the schedule is not that daunting. It's not that challenging. The Saints next week at Lincoln Financial Field. We know the Saints are a totally different team outside of that dome. The Giants in New York, that's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, but it's very winnable. The Jets, very winnable, right? I mean, Washington, very winnable. New York again, very winnable. Washington again at Washington, very winnable. And then you conclude with Dallas in Dallas. That's going to be a tough one. But at that point, at that moment, Dallas might not have anything to play for in week 18. So if the Cowboys don't have anything to play for, more than likely you're not getting Dak Prescott. More than likely you're not getting many of their starters. And more than likely, right, you're going to have a big-time moment to win because you're going and a chance to win because you're going to be playing your starters and you're going to be going up against backups. So guess what? The Philadelphia Eagles couldn't make the playoffs. But they got to beat the Saints next week. They got to beat the Saints next week. And if they can win that game, man, then you go into your division, which, again, is the NFC East outside of the Cowboys. Is some mediocrity. I know Washington did beat Tampa Bay today. Big victory for them, right? But again, the Eagles can make the playoffs, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, man. It's amazing to say. It sounds a little crazy, but this team can make the playoffs. And I'll say this before I get out of here, right? Making the playoffs would be great, right? That would be fun. That would be exciting. That would be great for Jalen Hurts and great for this young football team. But here's the reality of the situation when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's the reality of the situation. What is about for this team? It's about figuring out who is going to be your quarterback going forward. It's about figuring out if Jalen Hurts is your guy from now until the next few years. Is he your franchise quarterback? That's what 2021 is about for me. Figuring out, because they're going to have a high draft pick, whether it's their own or whether it's the Dolphins, right? And it's going to be multiple. They could have 3 first-round. So the Eagles could be in position where they have 3 first-round picks. So they have to figure out right now, they have to figure out if Jalen Hurts is their guy going forward, is the guy that they believe could be their quarterback, their franchise quarterback of the future forever and going forward. They have to figure that out, and they have to figure it out in 2021 because they got all these picks coming up. And again, the Dolphins are not a very good football team, and they have the Dolphins' first-round pick. And so the Dolphins, that could be a top 10 pick, might even be a top 5 situation. So if you're the Eagles, you have to figure it out right now whether or not Jalen Hurts is your guy. But along the way, hey, if you make the playoffs, that would be a lot of fun as well. We're going to get out of here now. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you come on back. We will be back, and we will be back next week against the Saints after the Saints game. Again, a big game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Saints currently the 6th team in the NFC in terms of the playoff spot. So at 5-4, Eagles at 4-6. They beat the Saints. Hey, you get another tie. You're in a tiebreaker situation. If you go there, if you're in that situation, that works there. And then, again, Carolina is the 7th team right now. You beat the Carolina Panthers. So you have a tiebreaker there if things work out your way. So next week is a big win game for the Eagles. If they can get that win, we can start talking about playoffs, man. We can keep talking about and start talking about these playoffs because they will be a possibility if this team can keep on winning. And as I said, the schedule lets up. They start going into the NFC East now. Washington twice, Giants twice. Only tough part about that is you got them in like a short time frame. Like you play them once and then you play them again. You see them right away. So that kind of works against you. You kind of want that distance. You kind of want to see them in week 3 and then play them in like week 10, right? You don't want to play them 1 week and then, a couple weeks later you play them again. That works against you. So, again, it's going to be interesting. With that 7th spot now, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to have opportunities, chances to make the playoffs. And, there's some people out here that say they don't like the 7 teams in the playoff, the 3 wild card spots. Hey, to me, could you have a team that may not be so good going into the playoffs? Possibly, yes, well, no doubt. But here's the beauty of it. A lot of people have a chance. Week 13, week 14, week 15, you still got a chance. Week 16, you still got a chance, right? And that's what it's about. You want teams, you want cities, you want fan bases to still be invested in their team late in the season. And with the 7 teams in the playoffs and the 3 wild card spots, you have a chance now to have fan bases all across the league still invested in your product. So we're going to get out of here now. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel. See you later. Take care. Bye. Eagles get it done 30-13 against the Denver Broncos. See you soon.